Welcome to the Google Ads Grant Program webinar, hosted by your friends here at 5Q and Journity. My name is Chelsea Cousins, and I'm the host on today's webinar. Before we get started, I would love to go over a couple housekeeping items. First of all, if you have any questions throughout this webinar, please put those in the chat box or in the Q&A area through Zoom. There's a Q&A box that you can click on and send a question directly to us. Otherwise, if you put it in the chat box, we'll make sure and get to it at the end of the webinar. Also, this webinar will be recorded and sent to you in a follow-up email. So feel free to listen in now and then check back in later. We're going to go over some great details, some great steps to get you started with the Google Ads Grant program. And we would love to have you use this as a resource, share it with your colleagues, as well as if you have any questions pop up throughout the webinar, again, don't hesitate to throw those in the chat box and we'll answer those at the end. So with that, I would love to introduce our topic, the Google Ads Grant. This is a wonderful opportunity for many nonprofits, and we are here to share some basic steps to help get you into the program today. We have our Director of Marketing, Josh Kishorek, on the call. He's our speaker today. And Josh has been running Google Ads since 2004. You guys, he is great at this. He is a specialist. He knows what he's talking about. And he has not only been running ads on Google, but he's also been consulting with nonprofits on how to make the most of their campaigns and how to optimize their conversions. So with that, Josh, I would love to hand it over to you if you'd like to take it away.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Chelsea. I'm really excited to see everybody here, and I'm excited to kick off 2019 with our first webinar. This is one of my favorite topics, and I'm excited to share it with you. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover what the Google Ad Grant is and how it works, if your nonprofit is eligible and how to apply, how to avoid the most common compliance issues, and some tips to get your account set up right from the start. So my goal at the end of this webinar is you'll have everything you need to go ahead and get your account set up and start taking advantage of the Google Ads Grant. So just a little brief intro to why we think the Google Ads Grant is important. The first reason, obviously, is $10,000 a month budget for advertising. Obviously, if you do the math, that adds up to be $120,000 potential increase to your budget for advertising. So that can drive a considerable impact. And this is a long-term program. It's been running since 2003. Over 20,000 nonprofits are participating in across 50 different countries. So this is not something that Google is doing just for publicity. They're actually invested in it, and it's being used to drive considerable impact. So here are some statistics Google has provided. You can see Science Buddies has generated 100,000 new student registrations. We Care Animal Rescue has increased their online applications 125%. SOS Children's Villages, 100% increase in monthly website visits and 40K in monthly donations. So it is something that is really a big opportunity and really can help you increase your impact and help you grow. So now you know why. We're going to talk a little bit about what Google Ads Grant is. Essentially, it is the sponsored ads at the top of the search results. So you see in this example here, the top 3 results have the word ad next to them in a little green box. Those are the sponsored results. These are paid. But as part of the ad grant, this is the area where your ads will be showing. And those ads are driven when people search for specific keywords in Google's search box. And as part of the setup, you'll be choosing those keywords that are relevant. And you might have heard terms like keyword research, long tail keywords, head keywords, a whole bunch of kind of jargon that might sound intimidating. But really when it comes down to it is you use Google every day to search for things. if you think of yourself as a user, what keywords are people searching for your content so that they can find your organization? That's what keyword research comes down to. So it's something you all utilize every day and are able to definitely handle. How do you apply? Well, the first step is to determine if you're eligible, and there's a very good chance you are. The requirements Google puts on this is that you're a 501c3, or if you're in a different country, you're the equivalent of that, and you have a website. The only really other restrictions is that you can't be a governmental entity, no hospitals or healthcare, and you're not a school or academic institution. They do have other offerings for academic institutions, but it's not related to the ads grant. And then once you found that you're eligible, getting started is really just 5 simple steps. You'll register an account at TechSoup, sign up for the nonprofits account, go ahead and set up your account, your ads account, and submit for review. The whole thing takes really can be done in just a couple of weeks. It probably only takes you a couple hours. Most of the time spent is waiting for the review process. So starting with TechSoup. TechSoup is a company that Google and other technology companies use as a verification source for nonprofits. So you'll go in, you'll create an account here. It's free, and you'll put in all of your important business information, your EIN number, your official address, all that stuff, so that they can verify that you are, in fact, a nonprofit and do qualify. One interesting thing to note about TechSoup is that they don't just do this for Google. They do this for a lot of big tech companies that offer discounts to nonprofits. So like Amazon Web Services, Adobe, Microsoft Office, those types of things. Often you're able to get a discount on that as a nonprofit, and you'll be able to do that through TechSoup's nonprofit marketplace. So register there and definitely get started for the Google Ads grant, but also look around and see if there are any other good opportunities to save on software that you're already using. The next step will actually be to go ahead and create your Google Ads account. And you'll be given 2 choices. One is Google Ads, and the other is AdWords Express. AdWords Express is it's really kind of a managed in an automated sense. So Google will actually visit your website, and it will, in an automated fashion, estimate which keywords they think your site is relevant for, create sample ads and that type of thing, which is good if you're very new and don't have a lot of time to invest in it. But you'll find, because it is an automated tool, it will miss a lot of the nuances that having a human review can take. And so I really recommend, if you're wanting to leverage the ads grant and really see a lot of performance out of it, going ahead and using the full Google Ads. That gives you all the manual control, so that you can tweak every different detail and make sure that it aligns with your mission, your vision, and you're getting the results you want. One thing to note when signing up for your Google Ads account is that on the sign up page, it offers, in very big letters, a guided setup, kind of a setup wizard. And you will want to actually scroll down the page a little bit and select the manual setup. The reason being is the guided setup requires you to enter a payment option before you can complete the setup. And if there's a payment option associated with the account, then it won't qualify for the Google Ads grant, and you'll have to go ahead and create an additional account and start over there. So once you have once you've been verified with TechSoup and you've created your AdWords account, you'll get a token, a verification token from TechSoup. that you can then use to go and create a Google Nonprofits account. And you'll want to make sure that you use the same email address that you use to create your Google Ads account. And from there, you'll just log in. You'll put in your token from TechSoup to verify that you are a nonprofit, and then it'll ask you for the ID of your AdWords account or your Google Ads account. And you'll drop that in there, and then it'll be just a matter of time for them to review it and make sure that you set up everything in the campaign according to the compliance of the ads grant. Both of those review processes from TechSoup and then the review process from Google Nonprofits tend to take around a week. I believe they say, it can take up to 2 weeks, but my experience says it seems to happen more often than not within a week. So it's really a fast process, really a simple process to get set up. Once you're there, as I mentioned, part of the review process is making sure your account is set up. So once you start setting up your ads account, you'll want to keep in mind compliance issues. And these are some of this is not a comprehensive list of the compliance requirements, but it's pretty close to it. So they don't have a lot of requirements. But your text ads can only run on Google Search Network. Once your account has been running for, I believe, 60 days, you have to maintain a 5% click-through rate. Keywords must not have a quality score of 2 or less. No single word keywords, so you can't use, donate as a keyword. You have to be more specific than that. You must have valid conversion tracking set up on your website, and that can be done either through AdWords or through your Google Analytics account. And then you must have 2 ads per ad group, 2 ad groups per campaign, and then at least 2 site link extensions per ad. And these are minimums, so you can have more ads, you can have more ad groups, but that is the minimum to get set up. So a lot of these things, such as the ads and ad groups, are really easy to be compliant in because they're specific technical applications. What you'll find is this is kind of the layout of your AdWords account. So you have a main account. Within that account, you can go ahead and set up individual campaigns for specific reasons. And then in each campaign, you can narrow the keywords and ads down even further to make sure that you have really targeted ads and are driving really targeted traffic. And that's done through ad groups. Some of the more challenging compliant issues and the ones that we see people getting stuck on quite a bit are the ones that are more related to performance. So starting with the low quality score, Google uses keyword ads and landing pages, a combination of that to determine the quality score. So you want to make sure that you're limiting your keywords, the number of keywords you use in an ad group, to ones that are very targeted and very similar. And then you'll want to pick a specific landing page that matches those keywords and utilize those keywords within the ads themselves. Also, Google allows you to set up automated rules that will pause keywords with a low quality score. I highly recommend doing that. We find people will set up campaigns and they'll have a lot of keywords in them and they'll be running for quite a while. And then due to seasonality or changing search updates, the quality score will drop off on some of those keywords. And then if you're not paying attention and not manually checking those and you don't have the automated rules set up, that can cause compliance issues with your accounts. So we recommend setting up the automated rules. It's very easy to do. And then also using negative keywords. Negative keywords are a way to further narrow down the relevance of your keywords. So a keyword in this case is actually a keyword phrase, so a string of several words. So maybe Christian charities in Rochester, New York. So using a negative keyword would allow you to specify, different types of charities that you are not relevant to. So, maybe my charity is not a pet rescue. So I would want to put the word negative pet. And that would narrow down the results that return for your ads. You must maintain an average click-through rate of 5%. So this comes back to, again, considering your keywords, your ads, and your landing pages and making them consistent throughout. Testing your ad copy. You do have to have 2 ads per ad group. So look at those regularly and see which one has the highest click-through rate, remove the lowest performing one and add in a new one to try to beat the current champion. Keeping your keywords tightly grouped in ad groups also helps to maintain relevance. So you probably don't need more than, say, a dozen keywords in your ad groups, because once you start getting beyond that, you're really better off creating an additional ad group and making sure that they're targeted in that way. Using site links. We mentioned site links a little bit at the top as one of the requirements, but you can also add additional extensions such as special messages, current events, any promotions you have, things like that. And that will just increase the visibility of your ads and increase the click-through rate. So use as many site links and extensions as are relevant to your ad. I also recommend creating a branded keyword campaign. I recommend this to everyone because it allows you to get additional coverage for your specific brand. If people are searching for your specific brand, the name of your organization, and that type of thing, you want to make sure that you are the most prominent on the page. So I highly recommend, regardless, having a branded campaign. But in this case, it also typically has a very high click-through rate. So it helps ensure that that you have some campaigns that are boosting up the click-through rate and keeping you above that threshold. And then lastly, I recommend scaling up slowly. And this is, simply a math thing. If you have a campaign that you set up that gets 1,000 clicks a day, but it gets it at 1% click-through rate, it's going to be really difficult for the rest of the campaigns to bring the overall account average up to 5%. So I recommend adding, 1 or 2 new campaigns at a time, just to make sure you don't have one that really skews your click-through rate for your whole account and causes problems. And then lastly is the no conversion tracking. We recommend you set up conversion tracking for all of your marketing channels, and you should be tracking it through Google Analytics. It's a free service. It's great. It offers a lot of customization. Most people are using it, but if you're not, you should definitely take a look at that. And you can actually link your Google Analytics account directly to AdWords and import those conversions in. So all of the work that you've already done to set up your Google Analytics account can just be carried right over to your AdWords account, which makes it really easy to import. So also track different types of conversions. A lot of people, when they think conversions, really they think money. And so they're looking at exclusively donations as conversions. We really recommend you think beyond that to email subscribes, contact form submissions, volunteer signups. Really, anytime somebody takes a deeper action to engage with your organization, that should be counted as a conversion because that adds value. So it's important to be measuring those as results, so you can see the results that your marketing campaigns are driving. But additionally, it helps make sure that Google sees that you have valid conversion tracking set up for your AdWords campaigns. And then also using automated bid strategies. One option that Google actually allows is to automatically optimize for getting the maximum conversions, and it'll dynamically change your bid based on the person's profile and how likely they are to convert. So we recommend using this It does take a little time to ramp up, so you should start probably with manual bidding or a bidding method to get clicks, because in order to automatically select the people that are most likely to convert, you have to have some baseline of data and conversion data. So start out with manual cost per click, but then as quickly as possible, switch it over to your automated bidding. Another bonus of using maximized conversions as a bidding strategy is it actually overrides the rule Google has for not bidding more than $2 per click. So there is a bid cap with the ads grant of bidding $2 per click. However, if you're using these automated bid strategies, Google overrides that and will allow you to get clicks at a higher cost. Some of the best practices to boost your results are really looking at the types of campaigns you're going to run. And today, I wanted to talk about three main types. The first one is branded, which we already talked about a little bit. Make sure you have good coverage for your brand, and make sure you're the one that's showing up the most on those searches. The next one will be really short-term or seasonal campaigns, and those would match, if you have an Easter campaign coming up, or if you have a fundraising drive for fiscal year end. We just passed also, year end, calendar year end, Giving Tuesday, Christmas, any types of short-term campaigns that you have running, you should also create an ad campaign for those. And then there are also the general ongoing campaigns, and these people we find have a little more trouble kind of strategizing and building ideas for those campaigns. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that. We like to look at things in terms of the 5 stages of donor engagement, and go ahead and create campaigns that bring people into the front of the funnel and push people down through the funnel. So starting out, a big one, you should focus on content that will inspire new visitors and get them engaged. When people are searching specifically for keywords and they come to your site, it's really a strong indicator that they're actually searching to engage and searching to learn about what you offer. And so make sure you're offering your best content that will get them to engage. And then also opportunities for them to connect. These will be kind of your lead magnet or your name capture type activities, such as downloadable PDFs, 30-day challenges, other opportunities to where you can get them into your email, and then you can educate them about opportunities to get involved further, and eventually ask them, to become donors and appreciate the impact that their partnership with your organization has. So that is a high-level overview of how to get started with Google Ads Grant. I hope that's enough information to make you excited and get you going so that you get that set up today.
Thank you, Josh. That was great information that you shared. We have a couple of questions here. And if you guys have any questions, any of our participants, don't hesitate. Please throw them in the chat box or drop them in the Q&A box, and we will get to them. The first question we have for you, Josh, is can you give an example of a campaign and 2 ad groups that would be tied to it?
Yes, absolutely. So if you have a campaign, say for, I'm trying to use vague enough terms so that I'm not using a specific client's example, but if you have a campaign that's specifically for, say, men's Bible studies, you can have different segments for those. So one might be a direct men's Bible studies ad group, and that's just a few words that focus on those kind of general keywords. But then you may have different segments of it. So maybe it's a men's small group Bible study, or maybe it's a men's Sunday morning Bible study type thing. So you can create different ad groups for every different variation of that. And even though the differences are, very slight between men's Bible study and men's small group Bible study, or men's, Sunday church Bible study, you can build ads that are, really relevant and use that exact phrasing. And what that will do is that will help boost your keyword relevance score as well as your click-through rates.
Okay, thank you for sharing those examples. Another question we have for you is, can I use the grant funds to purchase ads with video or images?
So the grant funds are specifically for the text ads. Google does offer video ads as well as the image display ads, but you have to do that through a separate account. And Google does allow you to have two accounts running simultaneously, so you can have one for your ads grant as well as one that is paid, which would include the video ads and the display ads.
Okay, great. And last question here, Josh. How many hours per week do you think someone like on an internal staff spends running their ads account and managing that? And kind of a tagline with that question would be, how many organizations do you come across that actually have someone on staff do it themselves, or have like a third party or someone else help them manage their ads account?
Mm-hmm. So as far as how much time internally, that really depends on, the scale of the organization, how many different things you have going on. You can manage it in as little as, an hour or two a week, or it could be somebody's full-time job. My previous job actually was about 80% running AdWords campaigns for an internal e-commerce company. So you can take it to as deep as you want to go, or you can you can manage it in your spare time. As far as, oops, sorry, were there more clarifications?
Nope, that's it. Go ahead.
Yeah. As far as people having internal staff versus an external person handling it, I've really seen, I would say probably it's about 50-50. And oftentimes the internal person, it's kind of, part of they do like online development or online fundraising type thing. And it's just a component of their job. And so we regularly at 5Q kind of consult and offer, training and recommendations, as well as, for people that don't have the time or don't have somebody on staff to manage it, we run the full management process.
Okay, great. And it sounds like it's pretty flexible. It's pretty flexible depending on the size of organization and the resources. But there's also a huge opportunity with a potential of about $120,000 a year in free advertising. So thank you for sharing that with us, Josh. That is all the questions we have for now. So I'll hand it back over to you.
Sounds great. And then, the last thing I wanted to cover is, I know we went over a lot of information today, but this is, like you said, it's $120,000 potential in ads. And so we feel that this is a great opportunity, and covering a lot of information in that rushed amount can sometimes seem overwhelming. So if you're at a point where you say, hey, I need this, but I'm not sure what to do, go ahead and go to the link journey.com/Google Ads Grant, fill out your information, and we'll actually review your website, give you some ideas for what campaigns we think you should start out with, and help make sure that you get set up so that you can actually get going and take advantage of this great opportunity. I hope you found this information useful, and I hope you found it exciting and that you can actually take it and grow your impact for your organization. Thank you so much. Have a good day.